Well, welcome back to Glass Family Field at Myers Stadium for the second game of our doubleheader between the Ouachita Baptist Tigers and the Northwestern Rangers. The Rangers dropped the first game by a score of 3-2. The Rangers scored 2 runs. Rangers scored their runs off of RBIs by Paul Sachin and Trevor Sayre. Garrett DeHaas for the Rangers had his second solid start in a row. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And so for the second game of our doubleheader, the Tigers will start junior right-handed pitcher Chase Oberle out of Justin, Texas, just north of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. He's making his 3rd start of the season. He is 1-1. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings. He's given up 14 hits, 7 runs, but only 1 of them have been earned runs, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. The Rangers will try to get the split in the doubleheader with Matthew Potts, the 6-foot lefty out of Pasadena, Texas, will make his 3rd start of the year. He is 1-0 on the season. He has a 3.97 ERA. He's pitched 11 1/3 innings. Given up 5 earned runs, 13 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .295 off of him. Starting for the Tigers will be Talon Heine in center field. He'll be followed by G. Allen in left. Batting 3rd and playing shortstop will be Dustin Bermudez. Batting 4th will be Isaac Noel. Batting 5th will be Cole Bedwell. Batting 6th, Kirian Terrio, Cade Burris, Josh Williams, and Reese McWilliams finish out the batting order for the Tigers. For the Rangers, it'll be Dylan Bradford leading off. He'll be followed by Carson Wright and Hagen Barcelo. Paul Sachin, Trevor Sayre, and Colby Grace hit 4 through 6. And rounding out the batting lineup for the Rangers will be Theron Perkins at designated hitter, Trevor Stiles at catcher, and Jacob Wiltshire at shortstop. We are just a couple of minutes away from first pitch. Glad to have you along. We are just about ready to start our second game of our doubleheader. Matthew Potts on the mound for the Rangers, the lefty from the Houston area. He will face Talon Heine, G. Allen, and Dustin Bermudez to start things off here in the first. Talon Heine to lead things off. He had a heck of a game in the first game of our doubleheader. He went 2 for 4, including a triple and a double. Also picked up an RBI. Matthew Potts, his start. Here's the first pitch from Potts, and Heine's first pitch swing. He sends it to left field. Carson Wright going back, but it's going to get over his head. Heine rounds first. He's going to second, where he will hold up. And so much like the first game where Heine leads off with a triple, This time he leads off the game with a double, and that'll bring to the plate G. Allen. G. Allen in the first game went 0 for 2. He did walk 3 times. He struck out once. And here's the first pitch from Potts. And G. Allen checks his swing but fouls the ball off, and the count will be 0-1. So 0-1 the count. Runner at second following the leadoff double. Nobody out in the first. And Allen is swinging and missing. And that'll bring the count to 0-2. In Bethany, it was Harding that got the win over Southern Nazarene by a score of 14-3 today. And in the bottom of the sixth, Henderson State now leads Southwestern by a score of 6-4. The 0-2 count to G. Allen is taken off the plate for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Potts checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. And the 1-2 pitch is outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-2. Just a reminder that the second game of our doubleheader will in fact be a 7-inning game, as per conference rules. 2-2 the count. And that ball is going to be lifted into center field. Trevor Sayre is underneath. And Heine looked like he was going to take off from second, but wisely got back and will hold up. Decided not to test the arm of Trevor Sayre for the second time in 2 games. Led off the first game of our doubleheader with a triple, was eventually thrown out at home by the Rangers center fielder. So that'll bring to the plate Dustin Bermudez, and the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Bermudez did not play in the first game of our doubleheader. Very good hitter returning for Ouachita Baptist this year. So far on the season, hitting .273. The first pitch from Potts, and he lifts it to right field. Paul Sachin is underneath, makes the catch. Heine will take off for third, and there will not be a throw. And there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring Isaac Nowell to the plate. Nowell in the first game had 2 hits. Had 1 hit, 1 hit and 4 at-bats. Here's the first pitch from Potts to Isaac Nowell, and it's taken low for a ball. And the count is 1-0. 1-0 the count. The second game of our doubleheader, second game of the GAC season for the Rangers. And the 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. And that'll move the count to 1-1. 1-1 the count. It'll be Bradford, Carson Wright, and Hagen Barcelo to lead things off for the Rangers in the bottom of the first. Potts hoping it's 0-0. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be ripped foul. And that'll move the count to 1-2. 1-2 the count. Potts gets the sign from catcher Trevor Stiles. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that ball is going to be hit back up the middle. Wiltshire up with it, makes the throw to first, and there's the third out. So, despite Heine's leadoff double, the Tigers are held off on the scoreboard. We move to the bottom of the first. Our score's tied 0-0. So it'll be Chase Oberly to start things for the Tigers. Oberly, the Tigers starting pitcher out of Decatur High School, just north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the Denton area. So far this season, he is 1-1 on the season. This is his third start. He has a .77 ERA. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings, given up 14 hits, 7 runs, but only one of them were earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 8. And he will face Dylan Bradford, Carson Wright, and Hagen Barcelo to start things off for the Rangers. Rangers' top 3 in their lineup in Game 1 combined for 2 hits, an RBI, and 3 walks. And they will look to get things started here in the first inning for the Rangers. Dylan Bradford, following his 0 for 3 first game, sees his batting average fall to .406 on the season. No home runs, 6 RBIs. Got really good wheels, though. If he gets on base, he is a threat to steal. Here's the first pitch from Oberly, and the first pitch to Dylan Bradford is high for a ball. So 1-0 the count to the Rangers' leadoff hitter. Scores around a bunt, lays it down. Oberly fields it, fires to first. The throw goes wide, and Dylan Bradford's going to get to second on the throwing error from the pitcher. And either way, the Rangers have a runner on second to lead things off. Knowing the Rangers' official scorekeeper the way that I do, that will be an error on the pitcher. So that'll bring Carson Wright to the plate. First game of our doubleheader, Carson was 1 for 3. He also drew a walk. And he comes into this game with a batting average of .379. Carson Wright scores up to bunt, pulls back. First pitch is called ball 1. So the Rangers get their leadoff hitter to second by virtue of the throwing error by Chase Oberly. And an opportunity maybe to get something on the board here in the bottom of the first, much like Game 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Carson Wright swings, misses. Count moves to 1-1. One and one the count. Wright squares up to bunt, pushes it foul, and that'll move the count to 1-2. Hagen Barcelo on deck for the Rangers. Hagen Barcelo comes into this game in a bit of a slump. Went 1 for 15 in the series against Truman State. He was 0 for 5 in the first game of our doubleheader. 1-2 the count to Carson Wright. Runner on second. And Wright's going to slap that one foul. The count's going to hold at 1-2. I'm sorry. Apologize to the Barcelo family. Hagen, in fact, went 1 for 3 in the first game and drew a walk. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And no appeal to first. Count is called, pitch is called a ball, and that'll move the count to 2-2. Rangers with the loss in the first game of this doubleheader fell to 7-2 on the season, 0-1 in GAC play. Looking to even things up. 2-2 the count to Carson Wright. Dylan Bradford on second. Carson Wright fouls that one off, and the count will hold at 2-2. Bradford on second by virtue of the throwing error by Chase Oberly. Nobody out in bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. And that ball's just going to be in front of home plate. Catcher Josh Bolin can't make the play. And the Rangers have runners on first and third. And I've just been informed by Ranger official scorekeeper that, in fact, that will be scored an error also. So the Rangers now have runners on first and third by virtue of 2 errors by the Tigers. And that'll bring to the plate Hagen Barcelo. And the first pitch from Oberle is a called strike. It's 0-1. Well, the Rangers have 2 runners aboard and no hits and no walks yet. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that ball's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Bradford's going to score right to second, and the Rangers now lead it by a score of 1-0. Nice piece of hitting by the Rangers second baseman. So that'll bring Paul Sachin to the plate. Sachin in the first game of our doubleheader went 0 for 3. But he did have an RBI and a walk and came around to score eventually. Comes into this game hitting .387, 1 home run, 10 RBIs for the Rangers outfielder. Here's the first pitch, and Sachin is first pitch swinging. He'll foul that one off, and the count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. Carson Wright at second by virtue of the error by catcher Josh Bolin. Hagen Barcelo at first after singling. 0-1 the count. Rangers leading it 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that'll bring the count to 0-2. Oh and 2 the count. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-2. Trevor Sayre on deck for the Rangers. One and 2 the count. Runners on first and second. Rangers leading it 1-0. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's inside for a ball. And that'll bring the count to 2-2. Rangers trying to jump on a very good pitcher early in Chase Oberle, much like they did in the first game where they scored 2 on Colin Timmons. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be hit to second base. Wesley Scott up with it, flips to second for 1, over to first, and there's the double play. Meanwhile, Carson Wright gets to third, and they're the first 2 outs of the inning. So that'll bring Trevor Sayre to the plate. Sayre had 2 hits in the first game of the doubleheader, raising his batting average on the season to .297. Got 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. He's first pitch swinging. He'll slap that one foul, and the count is 0-1. Trevor Sayre would love to pick up RBI number 6 here. 1-0 Rangers leading it. We're in the bottom of the first 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted foul, and the count moves to 0-2. So Trevor Sayre at the plate, Colby Grace in the on-deck circle. He would be followed by Theron Perkins. 0-2 the count, runner on third. Rangers leading it 1-0. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball, and that'll move our count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that ball's going to be hit to second base. Wesley Scott up with it, fires to first, and there's the third out of the inning. But the Rangers strike for a run. They lead it 1-0. We're going to the top of the second. Cole Bedwell, Kirian Terrio, and Cade Burris to hit for the Tigers. On top of the second, Rangers grabbed a run in the bottom of the first, lead it 1-0. Helped along by 2 errors by the Tigers. Here's the first pitch from Potts. And Bedwell looks at strike one. Oh, and 1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit to second baseman Hagen Barcelo. He can't come up with it. And Bedwell reaches first. So that'll bring up Kirian Terrio, excuse me. Here's the first pitch, squares to bunt. And the first pitch is going to be a strike. So Cole Bedwell reaches base by virtue of the error by Hagen Barcelo. I wouldn't have counted it an error. However, the official scorekeeper for the Rangers did. And the Rangers got him in a pickoff. Now he's in a rundown. Bedwell tagged out by Jacob Wiltshire. So now there's 1 out. Terrio at the plate. And the 0-1 pitch is low for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. So unlike the Tigers, whose 2 errors really led to a Rangers run in the bottom of the first, Rangers error comes to nothing with the pickoff. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Count is now 1-2. Here's Potts with the 1-2 pitch. And that's going to be a little high for a ball. So the count moves to 2-2. Just a reminder to everybody, this will be a 7-inning game. Assuming, of course, no extra innings are needed. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And swung on a miss for strike 3. So Terrio is the first strikeout victim by Matthew Potts here in the second game of our doubleheader, and that will bring to the plate Cade Burris. Burris in the first game went 1 for 4, struck out, had an RBI. Faces Matthew Potts here. 2 outs in the top of the second. Rangers leading at 1-0. The first pitch from Matthew Potts is low for a ball, and the count is 1-0. It'll be Colby Grace, Theron Perkins, and Trevor Stiles to hit for the Rangers in the bottom of the second inning. Here's with the 1-0 pitch. And the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Count is now 1-1. Potts gets the sign. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's fouled off. That'll move our count to 1-2. Josh Bolin in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. He would be followed by Reese McWilliams. Count 1-2 to Cade Burris. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. Count moves to 2-2. Two and two the count. And here's the pitch from Matthew Potts. And the 2-2 count is low for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So the Tigers are retired in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. The Rangers leading it 1-0. Colby Grace, Theron Perkins, and Trevor Stiles scheduled to hit for the Rangers here in the bottom of the second. Rangers scored a run in the bottom of the first, helped along by 2 errors by the Tigers, one by pitcher Chase Oberly, the other by catcher Josh Bolin. And they lead it 1-0. Here's the first pitch. And Colby Grace looks at ball 1. Grace in the first game of the doubleheader went 1 for 4. Here he's ahead in the count 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. The count moves to 1-1. Colby Grace on the season hitting .367, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs for the Rangers. On-base percentage of .406. Here's the pitch. And that's taken for a strike. The count moves to 1-2. Theron Perkins on deck for the Rangers. Theron Perkins, of course, was the hero 1 week ago today as he hit a walk-off grand slam to beat the Truman State Bulldogs. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. I'll move the count to 2-2. 2-2 the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. And that's a called strike 3. And for the 8th time this year, Colby Grace is down on strikes. So that'll bring Theron Perkins to the plate. Perkins did not play in the first game of the doubleheader. On the season so far, doesn't have enough at-bats to qualify for the official stats, but the first pitch to Theron Perkins is a called strike. 13 plate appearances. He has 5 hits, including 3 home runs, 8 RBIs for a .385 batting average. Down in the count here, 0-1. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted into left field. Allen is back, but he's not going to get it. That's going to get off the wall. Perkins rounds first. He's into second. And the Rangers, with the 1-out double from Theron Perkins, have a runner in scoring position. So that'll bring to the plate Trevor Stiles. And like Perkins, Trevor Stiles did not play in the first game of our doubleheader. On the season, he has 2 hits and 6 at-bats, no home runs, and an RBI. And the Rangers try to get another one here off starter Chase Oberly. Here's the pitch. And Stiles swings and misses for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Rangers have stolen 16 out of 16 bases this year. Theron Perkins, however, is not one of those with a steal. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. And that'll move our count to 1-1. No runs on 1 hit, 2 errors for the Tigers. 1 run on 2 hits and an error for the Rangers. 1-1 the count to Trevor Stiles. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit through, and that's going to get through for a base hit into left field. Theron Perkins rounds third. He's going to score, and the Rangers have a 2-0 lead. So clutch hitting from Trevor Stiles to come in. Get the single. And the Rangers now lead it by a score of 2-0. So that'll bring up Jacob Wiltshire. Wiltshire comes into this game hitting .231 on the season. No home runs, no RBIs. And Wiltshire squares to bunt, and he gets it down. So that'll do the job as Trevor Stiles gets to second. And Wiltshire credited with the sacrifice bunt. So Dylan Bradford steps to the plate. He reached by an error in his first at-bat. Eventually came around to score. Hagen Barcelo's RBI single. Here's the first pitch to Bradford. And that's off the outside corner for a ball, so the count is 1-0. 2 runs now for the Rangers on 3 hits, leading it 2-0. Dylan Bradford at the plate, ahead in the count 1-0. Here the 1-0 pitch is going to be low for a ball, and that'll move the count to 2-0. 2-0 the count. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And there's a little excuse me swing, fouled off. That'll move the count to 2-1. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Rangers have a runner on second. Rangers leading at 2-0. The count is 2-1 to their leadoff hitter, Dylan Bradford, leading the team in hitting at .406 on the season. Trevor Stiles at second. And here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. That'll bring the count to 2-2. Carson Wright in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. He would be followed by Hagen Barcelo. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's off the corner for a ball. That'll push the count to 3-2. Here's Overly with the 3-2 pitch. And Bradford will foul that one off. And the count holds at 3-2. Three and 2 count, runner on second. Rangers leading at 2-0. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be hit to shallow left field. Allen can't make the catch. Rangers will get another one. Trevor Stiles comes in to score. And Dylan Bradford in with a 2-out RBI hit. So Dylan Bradford comes up with the RBI double. And that'll bring Carson Wright to the plate. Wright is 0 for 1, as he also reached by an error back in the first. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Rangers now leading at 3-0. Carson Wright at the plate. Dylan Bradford is second. And Wright is first pitch swinging. He'll foul that one off. And the count is 0-1. Rangers leading it by a score of 3-0 after dropping the first game of this doubleheader by a score of 3-2. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's off the outside corner for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-1. One and one the count. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Rangers lead 3-0. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball, and that'll push the count to 2-1. Rangers trying to split this doubleheader and set themselves up for the series win tomorrow. 2-1 the count to Carson Wright. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. That'll push the count to 3-1. Hagen Barcelo on deck for the Rangers. So 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be chopped to second. Wesley Scott up with it, flips to first. And there's the third out of the inning. But the Rangers get 2. They lead it 3-0. We're going to the top of the third. To the top of the third we go. It'll be Josh Boland, Reese McWilliams, and Talon Heine set to hit for the Tigers. Matthew Potts on for his third inning of work, giving up no runs and one hit to this point. And here's the first pitch of the third inning for Matthew Potts. That's going to be taken low for a ball. Count is 1-0. Here's Potts with the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be high for a ball, and 2-0 is the count. Just a reminder that Rangers will play Game 3 of this series tomorrow. First pitch scheduled to take place at noon. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be roped into left field, but Carson Wright is there and makes the catch, and there's 1 up, 1 down for Matthew Potts and the Rangers in the top of the third. So that'll bring Reese McWilliams to the plate. McWilliams was 0 for 4 in the first game. Here's the pitch from Potts, and the first pitch to Reese McWilliams is low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and the 1-0 pitch is low for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-0. Potts with the 2-0 pitch, and that's low for ball 3. Talon Heine in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. He has doubled twice and tripled today in the 2 games combined. Rangers leading this one by a score of 3-0. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that's in there for a strike. Counts 3-1 to the Tigers' second baseman. So 3-1, 1 out in the top of the third. Here's Potts. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Three and 2 the count. Potts gets the sign. And here's the payoff pitch. And that's inside for a ball. So Reese McWilliams will take first base on the walk. And that'll bring to the plate the Tigers' leadoff hitter, Talon Heine. Heine in the first at bat in this second game of the doubleheader doubled over the head of Carson Wright in left field. Was eventually stranded. Potts throws to first, runners back safely. Heine came into these 2 games hitting .222, but he has hit well so far today. First pitch to Talon Heine is taken for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Here's Potts with the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be inside, and that'll move the count to 2-0. Rangers want to have a quick conversation. Conversation is ended. Talon Heine at the plate. Matthew Potts behind in the count, 2-0. Runner on first. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's going to be ripped foul. Count moves to 2-1. Tigers have a runner on first here in the top of the third by virtue of the walk issued by Matthew Potts. Rangers leading it 3-0. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be pushed up on the bunt, and that's going to go for a bunt single for Talon Heine. So that'll bring up G. Allen to the plate. Allen in this game is 0 for 1. Tigers now have runners at first and second. One out in the top of the third. Rangers leading it by a score of 3-0. Here's the first pitch from Matthew Potts to G. Allen, and the first pitch is outside for ball one. Want to know the count. Runners at first and second. Rangers lead 3-0, and the 1-0 pitch is outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-0. Rangers, after tomorrow's game, will play Emporia State next Tuesday here in Alva. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted foul. Trevor Stiles is back, but is not going to have quite enough room to make the catch. And the end result is going to be that it's going to move the count to 2-1. Following the game against Emporia State on Tuesday, the Rangers then continue GAC play as they'll travel to Arkadelphia to play the Henderson States. So 3-1 the count. Potts checks the runner as second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that'll move the count to 3-2. So 3-2 the count. One out in the top of the third. Rangers leading it by a score of 3-0. Tigers do have runners on first and second following a leadoff walk and a single. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be lifted to left field. Carson Wright can't come up with it. Everybody was holding, but now they're going. McWilliams scores. Heine to third. And G. Allen in with an RBI double. So that'll bring Dustin Bermudez to the plate. Bermudez is 0 for 1 today. He flied out to right fielder Paul Sachin in his first at-bat. Rangers leading it now by a score of 3-1. Here's the first pitch. And Bermudez is going to look at strike one. Isaac Nowell on deck for the Tigers. 0-1 the count. Runners at second and third. Rangers have a pitcher warming up in their bullpen. That ball's going to be shot right back up the middle. Hagen Barcelo does a nice job of backhanding and stopping it. Probably saved a run. However, Talon Heine comes in to score. G. Allen moves over to third. So now there are runners on first and third. Still one out. Tigers have got their second run across in this inning. Rangers now lead it 3-2. And Isaac Nowell to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to shortstop Jacob Wiltshire in his first at-bat. And here's the pitch. And the first pitch to Nowell is taken for a ball. And the count is 1-0. 1-0 the count. One out in the top of the third. Rangers leading it by a score of 3-2. Potts fires to first, but Bermudez is back safely. Two runs on 4 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. 3 runs on 4 hits and an error for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. And the 1-0 pitch is low for a ball. And that'll move our count to 2-0. The count. One out, top of the third. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's going to be inside for ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that's over for a strike. And that'll move the count to 3-1. Potts with the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be skied high. First baseman Bradford makes the catch, and there's the second out. But Ouachita Baptist strikes for 3 runs. We're tied 3-3. We're going to the bottom of the third. Hagen Barcelo, Paul Sachin, and Trevor Sayre set to schedule to hit for the Rangers here in the bottom of the third. Rangers got 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Ouachita Baptist got 3 in the third. We're tied 3-3. Barcelo is first pitch swinging, and he'll line out to second baseman Reese McWilliams. And so there's the first out of the inning for the Rangers. Paul Sachin to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second base in his first at bat. And the first pitch to Sachin is taken for a ball. And Sachin swings at the second pitch, and he's going to foul that one off. Over to take a look at it will be a trio of Tiger fielders. But the end result will be the first strike. So 1-1 the count. Oberle gets the sign. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Sachin's going to get that one into right field. There's a base hit. And the Rangers, for the third inning in a row, have a base runner. I'll bring Trevor Sayre to the plate. This game, Trevor Sayre is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second in his first at bat. Three to 3 is our score. That's the Rangers' 5th hit of this game. 1 out, bottom of the third. Here's the pitch, and that's inside. Count to Trevor Sayre is now 1-0. Paul Sachin at first, following his 1-out single. Sayre at the plate, Colby Grace in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch. And the 1-0 pitch is taken outside for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-0. So 3-2 the count. Trevor Sayre. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be hit right back up the middle. Bermuda's up with it. Flips to second. And the runner is second. The runner is out, is safe, excuse me. So we'll credit Trevor Sayre with a single. And that'll bring up Colby Grace. Colby Grace, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. And the first pitch to Colby Grace is taken for ball 1. One to know the count. Runners at first and second. 1 out at the bottom of the third. Rangers and Tigers tied 3-3. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be roped into left field for a base hit. Sachin rounds third. He's coming home to score. Here comes the throw, and Sachin is safe. And the Rangers have retaken the lead 4-3. Aggressive base running there by Paul Sachin. And Colby Grace has another RBI on the season. So that'll bring Theron Perkins to the plate. Perkins doubled over left fielder G. Allen in his first at-bat. And so he is 1 for 1 with a double in this game. Rangers still have runners at first and second with 1 out. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. Rangers lead it 4-3. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Rangers. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Tigers. 1-0 the count. And here's Oberle with the 1-0 pitch. And that's taken for a strike. That moved the count to 1-1. Trevor Stiles in the on-deck circle for the Rangers, if Perkins can extend the inning. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And Perkins is going to send that one to left field. Allen is there and makes the catch, and there's the second out of the inning. So Trevor Stiles comes to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a single today. Chase Oberle has now thrown 58 pitches, 37 of them for strikes. Rangers trying to add on here in the bottom of the third. Already leading this one by a score of 4-3. And here's the pitch. And that ball's fouled off. The count is 0-1. The count. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Rangers have runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and missed. And that'll move the count to 0-2. If Trevor Stiles can get on base here, Jacob Wiltshire is on deck for the Rangers. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's outside and high for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-2. Rangers next weekend go to Arkadelphia for their first road trip of the year. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So that'll retire the Rangers in the third, but they do get a run. They lead it 4-3. We're going to the top of the fourth. Matthew Potts on for his 4th inning of work for the Rangers. He'll face Kieran Theriot, Cade Burris, and Josh Bolin. Theriot to lead things off here in the 4th for the Tigers. He's 0 for 1 in this game. He was struck out in his first plate appearance. And here's the first pitch from Potts in the 4th inning, and the first pitch is a ball. 1-0. Rangers with a pitcher warming up. Looks like a right-hander in their bullpen. 1-0 pitch to Theriot. And that's outside for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-0. 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. 4 runs on 7 hits and an error for the Rangers. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's inside for ball 3. Cade Burris in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. Three and 0 the count. Here's the pitch. And that catches the outside corner for a strike. And that'll move the count to 3-1. The 3-1 count is a called strike 2. Much to the chagrin of Kirian Terrio. So the count's 3-2. Here's Potts with the payoff pitch. And that's going to be roped into left field. That's going to be for extra bases. Terrio rounds first. He's headed to second. Carson Wright cuts it off. And Kirian Terrio is on with the leadoff double. So that'll bring Cade Burris to the plate. Burris in this game is 0 for 1. He struck out in his first plate appearances. 1 of 2 Tigers to strike out in this game. But it looks like we're going to get a visit from Rangers skipper Ryan Bowen. And we'll tell you what's going on. On to pitch for the Rangers is going to be 6'4" junior Max McLean. McLean out of Arvada, Colorado, is making his 3rd appearance on the season. He's pitched 3 innings. He's given up 3 hits, 1 earned run. He's walked 1 and struck out 3. And he will look to quell the Tigers' threat here in the top of the 4th. Rangers lead it by a score of 4-3. But Kirian Terrio led off the 4th with a double. And Cade Burris at the plate. The first pitch to Burris is a called strike. Max McLean ahead of the count 0-1. We're in the top of the 4th. We'll play 7 this game. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that ball's going to be lined into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Terrio is going to hold at 3rd. And the Tigers are going to have runners at 1st and 3rd with nobody out. So that'll bring Josh Bolin to the plate. Bolin had 2 hits in the first game of our doubleheader. He flied out to left fielder Carson Wright in his first at bat in this game. Well, 4-3 is our score. There's nobody out in the top of the fourth. Runners at first and third. Leadoff double followed by a single. Bolin squares to bunt, pulls back, but it's strike one. Reese McWilliams in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. The 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be chopped to third. Fire to home. Turio's going to play in a little rundown here, and he's going to be tagged out by pitcher Max McLean. So Bolin reaches by virtue of the fielder's choice. So there's one out in the top of the fourth. Tigers now with runners at first and second. Reese McWilliams to the plate. He does not have an official at bat. He walked his first time up. And the first pitch to McWilliams is outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Rangers leading this one by a score of 4-3, trying to take game two of this doubleheader after dropping the first by a score of 3-2. The 1-0 pitch to McWilliams is looked at for a strike, and that'll bring the count to 1-1. One and one the count. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for ball two. 2-1 the count. One out, top of the fourth. Rangers leading at 4-3. McLean gets the sign. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled. And that'll push the count to 2-2. McLean gets the sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that's going to be fouled. And that'll hold the count at 2-2 to the Tigers' second baseman. Talon Heine on deck for the Tigers. Rangers, however, are hoping he'll lead off the fifth. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. So that's the second out of the inning for the Tigers. That'll bring Talon Heine to the plate. He's 2 for 2 in this game. He has doubled, and he reached on a bunt single. First game of this doubleheader, he tripled to lead off the game, and then doubled. So runners on first and second, Talon Heine at the plate. Here's the first pitch. He swings and misses for strike one. G. Allen on deck for the Tigers. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That just misses. The count goes to 1-1. The Rangers were scheduled to hit Jacob Wiltshire, Dylan Bradford, and Carson Wright in the bottom of the fourth. But Max McLean needs to come up with a few more clutch pitches here. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. The count will move to 2-1. Two-one pitch, and that's outside for a ball. So now the count's 3-1. G. Allen on deck, the transfer from TCU. Rangers clinging to a 4-3 lead here in the fourth. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's going to be chopped to third base. Colby Grace, comes up with it, steps on third for the force out, and the Tigers are retired. Rangers lead at 4-3. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. Chase Oberly on for his fourth inning of work facing this Ranger lineup. To this point, he has gone 3 innings. He's given up 3 earned runs on 7 hits. No walks and 2 strikeouts. And he'll face Jacob Wiltshire, Dylan Bradford, and Carson Wright in the Rangers' part of the 4th inning. The first pitch to Jacob Wiltshire is in for a strike. Wiltshire does not have an official at bat in this game. He sacrifice bunted his first time to the plate. And here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be high for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Nobody on. Bottom of the 4th. Nobody out. Wiltshire went 0 for 4 in the first game of our doubleheader. 1-1 pitch is fouled off. And the count moves to 1-2. Dylan Bradford in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Oberly. Swung on and missed. So Jacob Wiltshire is the 3rd strikeout victim. Dylan Bradford steps to the plate. He is 1 for 2. Today reached by an error his first at bat and doubled in his second at bat. Here's the first pitch from Oberly. And that ball's down the line. That's a fair ball. Bradford rounds first. He's headed to second. He's not going to stop at second. He's going to third. The throw is not going to get there. And Dylan Bradford now has a double and a triple in this game. And right down the line, that hit for Dylan Bradford. That'll bring to the plate Carson Wright. Wright in this game is 0 for 2. He reached by an error and grounded out in his second at bat. In the first game of this doubleheader, he went 1 for 3 with a walk. Rangers leading this one by 4-3. Infield playing in on Wright, and the first pitch to Wright, he looks at strike 1. So 0-1 the count. Dylan Bradford standing at third following his 1-out triple. And here's the 0-1 pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted foul. And that'll move the count to 0-2. Hagen Barcelo in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 0-2 the count to Carson Wright. Runner on third, 1 out. Chase Oberly gets the sign. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be fouled. The count will hold at 0-2. Rangers looking to extend their lead in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be fouled off. Rangers got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Looking to continue that streak of getting at least 1 run every inning in this game. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. We'll move the count to 1-2. One and two the count on a cold February afternoon in northwest Oklahoma. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled off. Count will hold at 1-2. One and two the count. Runner at third. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Oberly about to throw the 7th pitch of the at-bat to Carson Wright. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. And now Chase Oberly will have to throw pitch number 8 in the at-bat. Hagen Barcelo in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 1 out. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be just fouled. And the at-bat will now go to 10 pitches. 1-2 the count to Carson Wright. And the 1-2 pitch is going to be low for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-2. This at-bat started with a strike, then 3 straight foul balls. And Carson Wright looked at ball 1, 3 more straight foul balls. Then Carson Wright looked at ball 2. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be lifted to right field. And that's going to drift foul. So the count's still 2-2. There's a runner at third, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Rangers leading it by a score of 4-3. Trying to split this opening GAC doubleheader. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's outside for a ball. So Carson Wright with a fantastic at bat here. Now the pitch count is in the double digits in this at bat. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Carson Wright battled, but ends up striking out. And now there are 2 outs for Hagen Barcelo. Barcelo in this game is 1 for 2 with a single. And he will look to try to plate Dylan Bradford. Here's the first pitch to Barcelo. That's lifted into right field. That's going to fall for a hit. Rangers get the run in. Now they lead it 5-3 as Hagen Barcelo comes through, picks up his second RBI off his second single of the game. So the Rangers now lead it by a score of 5-3. Paul Sachin steps to the plate. He is singled and grounded out in this game. And if Sachin can continue the inning, Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the first pitch. And that's going to be a foul. 0-1 the count. Rangers leading it by a score of 5-3. 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. 5 runs on 9 hits and 1 error for the Rangers. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Chase Oberle. And that's over for a strike. So that'll move the count to 0-2. G. Allen, Dustin Bermudez, and Alex Nowell scheduled to hit for the Tigers. The 0-2 pitch is fouled off. Count holds at 0-2. Chase Oberle about to throw pitch number 84 in the bottom of the 4th. Tigers do have a right-hander warming up in their bullpen. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Nope. Yep. That's strike 3. But the Rangers get a run. They lead it 5-3. We're going to the top of the 5th. Max McLean on for his second inning of work in relief for the Rangers. Matthew Potts was the starter in this second game of our doubleheader. He went 3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, 5 hits, a walk, struck out 2. Max McLean will face G. Allen, Dustin Bermudez, and Isaac Nowell. And G. Allen leading things off and hits an absolute rocket into right center field. And he is out. What a catch from Trevor Sayre. Boy, have yourself a day in the field. Trevor Sayre threw out a runner trying to score from home in the first game of the doubleheader. And then comes up with a diving play in center field to save what would have been extra bases. And that's the first out of the inning. Trevor Sayre threw out the leadoff runner who had tripled in the first game of this doubleheader, threw him out at home plate. And now he comes up with the diving catch here in the fourth or in the fifth. And the first pitch to Dustin Bermudez is a called strike. Bermudez is 1 for 2 today. He singled in his last at bat. The 1-2 pitch catches the outside corner, and the count moves to 0-2. Oh and 2 the count. 1 out in the top of the fifth. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be put right back up the middle. It bounces off of McLean. Barcelo up with it, throws to first, and there's the second out of the inning. So 4-3 if you're scoring it at home. And that'll bring Isaac Nowell to the plate for the Tigers. He's 0 for 2 in this game. He is grounded out in his first at bat, hit into a fielder's choice in his second at bat. Now there are 2 outs, nobody on. Rangers leading at 5-3. Isaac Nowell to the plate. The first pitch is hit to second baseman Hagen Barcelo. He's up with it, fires to Bradford at first, and there's the third out. So 3 up, 3 down. We move to the bottom of the fifth. Rangers leading this one 5-3. On to pitch for the Tigers. Going to be a 6-foot right-handed graduate student from Cord, Arkansas. Making his third appearance of the year. He has a 10.12 ERA. He has pitched 2 2/3 innings. He's given up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. Opponents are hitting .417 off of him. Last year, he made 16 appearances for the Tigers. He started 7 games, pitched 38 innings, gave up 37 hits, 16 earned runs, walked 17, struck out 25. And opponents hit .257 off of him. And he had a 3.79 ERA. The bottom of the fifth, he'll face Trevor Sayre, Colby Grace, and Theron Perkins, scheduled to hit for the Rangers. So Trevor Sayre steps up. He is 1 for 2. He is grounded out and singled. Rangers leading this one by a score of 5-3. They have scored in every inning of this game and would like to continue to see that go. First pitch swinging up on his shortstop, Bermudez. Fires to first, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out. So Sarah's retired 6-3. That'll bring Colby Grace to the plate. Colby Grace in this game is 1 for 2. He was called out on strikes in his first at-bat and then singled in his next at-bat. He also has an RBI in this one. Here's the first pitch. And Colby Grace looks at ball one. Theron Perkins in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Rangers leading it by a score of 5-3. 1-0 the count to Colby Grace. Here's the pitch, and that's inside for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. Two and 0 the count. Nobody on. Bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. That'll move the count to 2-1. Hayden Childers gets the sign from Josh Bolin. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. That's 2-2. Colby Grace at the plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's outside and low for a ball. So that'll push the count full. It's 3-2. Colby Grace trying to get on board here for Theron Perkins. Here's the payoff pitch. And that ball is going to be put right back up the middle for a base hit. So Colby Grace comes up with his second hit of the day. And the Rangers' 10th of this game anyway. Theron Perkins steps to the plate. He is 1 for 2. He doubled over the left fielder G. Allen's head in his first at-bat. Flied out in his second. There's one out in the bottom of the fifth. Rangers leading at 5-3. Theron Perkins at the plate to face Hayden Childers. Perkins' first pitch swinging. He'll foul that one off. The count is 0-1. Rangers drew 5 walks in the first game of this doubleheader. Have not walked yet here in the second game. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And there's just a little swing. It'll be enough to get the runner to second, but Theron Perkins is going to be thrown out at first. And that'll bring to the plate Trevor Stiles. Stiles is 1 for 2 today. He's singled, struck out swinging in his second at bat. The only 2 Ranger batters to not get hits thus far in this second game of the doubleheader are Carson Wright and Jacob Wiltshire. First pitch to Trevor Stiles is low for a ball. Jacob Wiltshire in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Runner at second. 2 outs. Rangers leading it by 2. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted foul. The count will move to 1-1. Childers with the 1-1 pitch, and that's outside and low for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-1. In the GAC, 2 other games been played today. Harding beats Southern Nazarene by a score of 14-3. 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. 2-2. 2-2 the count. The other game in the GAC, it was Henderson State coming back to beat Southwestern by a score of 9-5. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off. Count holds at 2-2. Rangers to play the third game of this opening GAC series tomorrow. First pitch at noon here at Glass Family Field. 2-2 the count to Trevor Stiles. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for ball 3. So now it's 3-2. Colby Grace at second. Rangers leading it 5-3. Trying to split this opening doubleheader. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So the Rangers unable to get a run across for the first time in this game. We move to the top of the 6th. Rangers leading this one by a score of 5-3. On to pitch for the Rangers is going to be the 6'3" left-hander, Cade Phelps. Phelps out of Wellington, Kansas. Making his 3rd appearance on the season. He has pitched 3 1/3 innings for the Rangers in relief. Given up 6 hits, 3 earned runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 5. 8.10 ERA. And he will face Cole Bedwell, Kirian Theria, and Cade Burris here in the 6th. Rangers leading this one by a score of 5-3. And that'll finish the day for Max McLean, who came in and pitched well for the Rangers. Went 2 innings, gave up a hit, struck out 1, no walks, and no runs. The first pitch of the 6th inning for Cade Phelps to Cole Bedwell is a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Kirian Theria in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be looked at for a ball. And the count moves to 1-1. One and one the count. And that's going to be hit to shortstop Jacob Wiltshire up with it. And the throw. And 3 pitches, 1 out for Cade Phelps. So Cole Bedwell is retired, 6'3". And that'll bring to the plate Kirian Theria. Terrio's 1 for 2 in this game. He has struck out and doubled. Came into today as the Tigers' leading hitter at .364. Here's the first pitch from Phelps. Terrio's back to bunt, pops it up. Styles can't quite get there. So it's going to be an 0-1 count to the Tigers' third baseman. And we're going to have a quick timeout as things get sorted down there in the Rangers bullpen area. Look like somebody had maybe gotten across or something. I just want to make sure everybody's okay. Rangers do have a right-handed pitcher getting warm. Looks like we have somebody down on the third base line with their lights on. Maybe that's the reason for the delay. And the lights are off. and play can continue. The count is 0-1 to Kirian Terrio. There's one out in the top of the sixth. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Count's 1-1. So 1-1 the count, one out the top of the sixth. Rangers leading it by a score of 5-3. Cade Phelps on the mound for the Rangers. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's going to be a called strike. The count moves to 1-2. Cade Burris in the on-deck circle for the Tigers. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted foul. Count will hold at 1-2. We're in the top of the sixth. Just a reminder, we only go 7 in this second game of the doubleheader. Rangers dropped the first one by a score of 3-2. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be put right back up the middle. It's off the glove of Phelps. And Terrio is going to reach base. So a one-out infield hit by Kirian Terrio. And that'll bring to the plate Cade Burris. Burris in this game is 1 for 2. He struck out swinging and then singled in his second at bat. Here's the pitch from Phelps, and the first pitch to Burris is a ball. Count is 1-0 to the Tigers' designated hitter. 1-0 the count. Phelps checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. 5 runs on 10 hits and an error for the Rangers. The count is 1-1 to Cade Burris. Runner on first. 1 out in the sixth. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be lifted into foul territory. Dylan Bradford over and makes the catch. So there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Josh Bolin. Bolin's 0 for 2 in this game. He is flied out and hit into a fielder's choice. Cade Phelps looking to send them packing for the sixth. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch to Bolin is a called strike one. Kirian Terrio on at first, following the infield single. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted into center field for a base hit. Terrio's going to stop at second. Not really wanting to mess around with Trevor Serra again. So that'll bring Reese McWilliams to the plate. McWilliams is 0 for 1 in this game. He has walked and struck out. Tigers with 2 outs in the top of the sixth, trailing it 5-3, but runners on first and second. Of course, that'll move Talon Heine to the on-deck circle. Heine's had a really good day today. Had 2 hits in the first game of our doubleheader with a double and a triple. Then in this game, he's got 2 hits, including a double. So all things being considered, you'd rather have him leading off the seventh in a game that you're leading 5-3. So conversation at the mound is concluded. Phelps gets the sign. And here's the pitch to McWilliams. And there's a called strike one. Oh, and 1 the count. Runners at first and second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. So that'll move the count to 0-2. Wiltshire, Bradford, and Wright set to hit for the Rangers in the bottom of the sixth. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And they'll appeal down to first, and he did go around, so there's a strikeout. So the Tigers threatened in the top of the sixth, but they did come away with nothing. We go to the bottom of the sixth, Rangers leading it 5-3. So Hayden Childers on for his second inning of work in relief for the Tigers. We move to the bottom of the sixth. Rangers leading this one by a score of 5-3. Childers will face Jacob Wiltshire, Dylan Bradford, and Carson Wright. Rangers looking to get their first GAC win of the season and move to 1-1 and 8-2 overall. So Jacob Wiltshire steps to the plate. He is 0 for 1 in this game. He had a sacrifice bunt in his first at bat. Struck out swinging in his second at bat. Here's the first pitch from Childers. And there's a called strike one. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that misses outside for a ball. And the count moves to 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. I'll move the count to 1-2. One and two the count. And the 1-2 pitch is a called strike three. So Jacob Wiltshire is the sixth Ranger to strike out in this second game of the doubleheader. And that'll bring up Dylan Bradford. Bradford today is 2 for 3. In this game, he's 2 for 3. The first pitch to Bradford is low for ball one. Bradford has doubled in this game. He's also tripled in this game. His first at bat, he reached by an error on starting pitcher Oberle. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Count moves to 1-1. Bradford also has an RBI and scored 2 runs in this game. 1-1 the count to the Rangers' first baseman, and that's outside for a ball. And that'll move our count to 2-1. Carson Wright in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the sixth. Here's the pitch. That's fouled off. Count moves to 2-2. Bradford came into today hitting at .428 after going 0 for 3 in the first game. That ball is hit foul down the line. After going 0 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader, saw his batting average fall down to .406. He's gone 2 for 3 in this game, so batting average headed back north. 2-2 the count. Bottom of the sixth to Dylan Bradford. And the 2-2 pitch is fouled off. Count will hold. Two-two pitch is lifted foul. The count remains at 2-2. Two and two the count to the Rangers first baseman. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to get into left field. A diving catch by G. Allen. And Dylan Bradford is retired for the second out of the inning. The Rangers were finished in the first game as a result of a diving catch by center fielder Talon Heine. And G. Allen comes up and robs Dylan Bradford in the sixth inning of this one. That'll bring up Carson Wright. Carson's 0 for 3 in this game. He reached by an error, grounded out and struck out. The first pitch to Carson Wright is a called strike. Rangers do have Jacob Shaw warming up in their bullpen. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. The count moves to 0-2. So 0-2 the count, bottom of the sixth, 2 outs. Rangers leading at 5-3. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that ball is going to be slapped foul. Count will hold at 2-2. Here's Childers with the 0-2 pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted into shallow right field. Right fielder coming on and makes the catch. So it's 3 up, 3 down for the Rangers. We go to the top of the seventh. Rangers leading this one by a score of 5-3. On to pitch the seventh for the Rangers is going to be Jacob Shaw. Shaw, and to pick up what he hopes will be his second save of the season. Shaw did pitch in the first game of our doubleheader. He went an inning, walked a batter, didn't give up any runs or any hits, and no strikeouts on the season. Jacob Shaw now making his 5th appearance of the season. He has pitched 5 2/3 innings, given up 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 5. Opponents are hitting 156 off of him, and he will face Talon Heine to begin things. Starts him off with a ball. Talon Heine, G. Allen, and Dustin Bermudez scheduled to hit for the Tigers. And the 1-0 pitch to Heine is taken for a ball, so that'll move the count to 2-0. Heine today in this second game is 2 for 3. He's doubled, he has singled, and hit into a fielder's choice. Also came around to score one time. The 2-0 pitch is high and tight for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-0. G. Allen, who is in the on-deck circle. 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's taken for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to lead things off here in the 7th. G. Allen steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI back in the 3rd. Rangers now facing Allen with Heine at first. Nobody out in the top of the 7th, leading this one 5-3. Here's the first pitch to Allen. That's a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to the Tigers left fielder. 0-1 the count. Shaw gets the sign. And here's the 0-1 pitch. And that ball's going to be lifted foul. And that'll move the count to 0-2. Heine does have one of the 6 stolen bases this year by the Tigers. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be hit right back to the pitcher. He'll fire over to second for 1, back to first, and they're going to say that Allen beat out the throw at first. And so Heine will be retired at second. And G. Allen will reach by the fielder's choice. So Dustin Bermudez to the plate. Bermudez today is 1 for 3. He is singled. 1 out. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch to Bermudez is a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So runner on first. 1 out, top of the 7th. Rangers leading it by a score of 5-3. Jacob Shaw on the mound, hoping to pick up his 2nd save of the season. The 0-1 pitch is looked at. That'll be ball 1. 1-1 the count. Shaw now in the 2nd game of the doubleheader has thrown 9 pitches, 4 of them for strikes. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be chopped over to Hagen Barcelo. Second flips on to second for 1, on to first. And there's your double play, and there's your ball game. So the Rangers split the opening doubleheader. They moved to 1-1 in GAC play and 8-2 on the season overall. Our final numbers look like this: 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors for the Ouachita Baptist Tigers, 5 runs on 10 hits, and 1 error for the Rangers. So the Rangers split the first 2 games of this series, and that means that tomorrow the Rangers' first pitch scheduled for noon, and that will be for the series win. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you coming along the ride for us on this one, and we'll see you at noon tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.